Hey, Sheldon, when you have the luxury of all these days now between games, how does that change your approach to what you do with the guys in terms of preparation between games?
I think each situation is a little bit different. I think in the early going here, coming out of the Christmas break and our COVID pause and all of that, it was getting guys back up to speed. In this case here, we're in the early going of a pretty lengthy and challenging road trip. So on a day like today, coming off of yesterday and traveling in to Vegas here last night, we wanted to just get the guys on the ice, get a sweat, touch the puck and stay sharp. Really tried to not give them too much. We had a team meeting here just to discuss the game last night and how that played out. Really the meeting to me was the most important part of the day today. And then on the ice, just keeping the guys sharp. And then we do have, as you say, the luxury now to reset, get a good hard practice day tomorrow, and get ready for a very challenging Vegas team here.
Austin and Jack didn't take part in the skate, and Kasha skated a little bit before the session began. Do you have an update on all three guys?
Just maintenance days at this point for Jack and Austin. Kasha, I was told that his skate actually went well here today. But again, just using the extra day, and then we'll see how tomorrow is for him. But he continues to progress, but he did not feel good enough at this point to do the full workout today on those.
Next, we'll go to Kevin McGran, Toronto Star. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Sheldon, I got a few for you here, if you don't mind. I asked a couple of your players this. How hard is it, or how rare is it for a team to play a perfect game?
Yeah, I would say it's extremely rare. I think every coach is always going to find things that you can improve upon and do better. And I think that includes teams that win the Stanley Cup. I mean, I don't think that as you go through that, I don't think you just get your feet up and relax. I think you're always trying to improve, and that's why you see teams that that win, that are able to sustain that over time because they're always seeking ways to continue to get better. Yeah, perfect games are really difficult to achieve. Obviously, that is the goal. You're trying to execute at a high level and sustain that over the course of the game. It's a really difficult task. One, it's hard to be at your best every shift and every puck touch and every decision that's made in a game as fast as ours. And that's not even accounting for the fact that you've got an opponent that is also seeking to play well on the other side. So that's your goal. You want to try to be as good as possible and sustain it over the course of the game. It's a difficult thing to do, but it doesn't mean that you don't aspire to do that and get the goal every day.
And I know we've asked you about Nick Ritchie a lot lately, but I asked you earlier in the season what it was like to have the conversation about scratching a guy. How's Nick handled these downs, the being scratched, the being waived? What's your take on how he's going through this particularly low moment for him and in his career?
I think he's handling it really well. I think if last night's game is any indication, he scores a huge goal for us. I would say he's handled it extremely well. In fact, when a player is going through this, you tend to just watch him from a distance. How's he interacting with the guys? What's his mood like? Is he changing how he has been previous to that? And I don't think he has. He's nothing's really changed in the sense of what he's been like around our team and with his teammates and that. And I think he's a popular guy. And, that's why guys are so happy to see him score last night. So I think he's dealing with it about as well as anybody could.
And another topic, William Nylander, he's pretty much having a career year at this point. I gather from everything you've said about him this year and even last that you kind of saw this happening for him, that you kind of knew that this was a level that he could get to. Can you talk about his growth that you've seen?
I think he's handled increased responsibilities very well. everybody wants to play more and everybody wants to play in more situations, but when given those opportunities, you got to deliver. And if there's more of a challenge to it, I mean, penalty killing alone, we talk about getting on the ice and killing penalties. That's part of it. But then there's a whole other piece of it where, you're adding 82 meetings a season that you got to sit through. You're adding practice meetings. You're adding time with the coach. Like, it's a big responsibility. You're adding more onto your plate that you have to think about in preparation for every game. Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into these added roles when you're on, with the goalie out 6-on-5. Those are meetings. Those are discussions. It's all these kind of things that go into your preparation that you didn't have previously. I think he's handled all of that very well, and then the actual execution of it, he's taken that on. Like all of our players, we're seeking consistency. We want that all the time. I think that's still is the next phase for Will. We've gotten, I think, more of that this season than previous. It's obviously been huge for us. The more we can get out of every one of our guys, the better. And Will's been a very good player throughout his time in the NHL. Probably wanted to be, to the point, where he's impacting the game in more ways than just offense and doing it with greater consistency. And I think he's done that more so this season than in the past. And I think he can continue to get better here in the second half.
Thanks, Sheldon.
Last one, we'll go to Lance Hornby with the Toronto Sun. Go ahead, Lance.
Hey, Sheldon, further to what I asked last night, is the window a little too tight to get in Marner and Engvall, do you think, off the COVID list and maybe into one of the next 2 games?
I think there's a couple different things at play. The thing that's most important is just Mitch, which both Mitch and Pierre have told are doing very well in terms of not having any symptoms or anything like that. So that's important, but there's a lot of other things at play. I think, tomorrow we'll have a better idea of what that will look like. It's not ruled out at this point, but there's a lot of different things at play.
Okay, and sorry.
And then if I could just finish, and just the other thing is just with Mitch himself, he's got to make sure he would be ready to play, and that would make sense.
Okay, and just wondered, is Vegas the kind of a town that's kind of hard for the guys not to get out, just want to take a walk? I know that you have to treat it like a road trip, and of course you're in the middle of COVID and all that, but is this one of the harder places to keep the team from wanting to even go for a walk and to see a couple of sites?
Oh, of course, but there's nothing wrong with guys going for a walk. We're always encouraging guys to get out and get out of the hotel, and that's one of the nice things this season. Even last season, we were pretty much in our own little bubbles at the hotel. We were able to get out and go for a walk, so that's not uncommon. I encourage it's a nice sunny day out here. It's beautiful blue skies. We want the guys to get out and enjoy that part of it. Obviously, Vegas, there's lots going on all around here. So that's really it. We've got a couple of days here leading up to play. Going to get some work in here today and I think again tomorrow. But so we know the challenging game.
Thanks.
Sheldon, it's Kevin here. Can you hear me? You sort of cut out a little bit talking about Mitch. Is there an issue beyond COVID for him right now?
Nope. No issue. It's just that it's time off the ice and having dealt with COVID, and as we've seen with different players, everybody responds differently. So it's going to be really on Mitch and how he's feeling coming out of that. It's not only for say guys.